BBNO Money is a Canadian singer and rapper, best known for his songs La 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 of Y2K and Amame of Rich Brian, as well as more recently come to Brazil. And today's subject is going to focus on that last song. You see, prior to its release, he commissioned a ton of artists to animate him doing whatever in order to promote the music video. He would be seen liking, retweeting, and promoting a lot of these creators. However, one particular artist, Slade.Coom, would be stiffed in their agreement. Let's dive into what happened and see what we can learn from something like this. Hello, I'm Dovin, this is my friend Samantha, and we're going to be talking about commissioning artists. As a preface, I'll be referring to BBNO Money as Alex, as that's his name, and it's way easier to say, because I'm saying his name a lot in the video. Also, please do not attack anyone mentioned this video, as you can instead just argue in my comment section. February 19th, 2026, Alex would make a tweet about wanting to fight AI slop and wanted to commission every real artist. A quote tweet by not safe for work artist Slade.Coom would say, if you're not safe for work artist, do not collaborate with him. Quote,
he claimed he could only afford 50% of my rate for animation, claimed he loved the animation, but refused to post or retweet it after realizing 3 months later that I was a not safe for work artist. Even though I had said multiple times that I was, instead only leaving a comment under my post even though he posts directly or retweets other artists. Then when I tried to communicate about it with him, he ghosted completely.
And the original post by Alex would be community noted by Slade's tweets. Now, these are some bold claims, and luckily not only would he provide screenshots in the tweet, but he would also post the full DM history of the group chat with Alex as well as the social media manager April.
Alright, I'm ready to hear how this all happened. You, watching on your phone, be sure to pay attention. Also, comment below what you're doing right now. I want to know.
Well, anyway, on October 23rd, 2025, Alex would reach out to Slade for a commission, specifically for Alex's song, Come to Brazil. In it, he promises pay, a direct promotion with a repost, and engagements with the animation. The due date is ASAP, but no later than 3 weeks. A group chat was made on Discord, and in the video shows the usernames to prove it's them. April asks how much a 10 to 15 second animation would be, to which Slade says $700, but is happy to take a lowered rate for a chance to work on something that isn't porn. April says they could do $350 because they're commissioning 100 people. Slade agrees with that price.
Wait.
Huh? What?
He literally agreed to a way lower rate and to be paid in exposure.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, just making sure I heard that right. Go on.
April would change the group name to Slade x BBNO Money Animation 350. April provides guidelines and Slade asks them for the 3D model of Alex as well as the 3D chibi version. He asks this as he cannot make a new custom model from scratch and animate all in 2 to 3 weeks. I'll skip ahead a bit as a lot of this is just them figuring out which model to use. But April did clarify this is not going to be an official music video. Though honestly, when I first heard he was commissioning a lot of artists, I was like, is it going to be for music video? But then it released and it's like live action instead.
Honestly, a missed opportunity to have it all animated, but there's always next time.
And so during late October, he would be working on the animation. However, November 7th, he would ask for another week to complete the animation. Then on November 24th, Slade would ask for another 2 to 3 day extension to further work on the animation. A few days later, November 29th, April would ask if he could turn down the jiggle physics, and he said he would be unable to because it was already rendered. December 8th, Slade asked about the time Alex said he's going to stop making music since it affects his commission. April says he'll be back in 3 days and did not tell anyone.
Not for nothing, but why the fuck did she let this random person in on the little publicity stunt? I mean, I get reassuring the person you're paying for work that the work will be posted, but she could have said, Alex is going through a lot right now and needs some space. We'll have to get back to you on the animation. Because now it makes me think that this April person is a little unprofessional.
Yeah, I mean, Slade still hasn't been paid at this point either. December 8th, Slade would ask when he can post the animation, with April a couple days later saying, I don't know, because Alex is offline. December 15th, Slade asks about payments again, and April reassures him that he will be, and the process just takes forever. 4 days later, he receives the payment and tries to cheer up Alex. That he also gets a lot of hate online, but for being a black man in the field of adult animation, so he understands how the internet can be. He also mentions he always enjoyed his music and that his favorite song is Meant to Be. Slade would also talk about how it's hard to operate sometimes in the same space as people who choose to spread negativity for no reason, and that he also is one to quit sometimes. December 27th, Slade says that he will post the animation on Tuesday since he hasn't heard back from them in a month, with April saying 2 days later that Alex won't be able to interact with the post yet due to being offline. There seems to be some confusion whether or not Alex himself would be posting it, though I think the social media team should have made it a bit clearer as there was a prior question of if this was supposed to be the music video or not.
I mean, a lot of this exchange between April and Slade seems unprofessional from her end. It's a bit too informal and loose, especially when the artist is worrying about money and the aforementioned promotion that was talked about before.
Well, it's about to get a lot more unprofessional. February 8th, Slade would send in a long message about how Alex unfollowed him, and that they knew from the jump that he made porn animations, that he didn't argue about the pay, and he wanted exposure for animating for Alex. Outtakes. It took them a month of work and other people contributing for free because they thought they would also get exposure from the project. 2 days later, Alex would leave a comment under the post instead of retweeting it, and that Slade wishes he wasn't hired for half his rate in the first place. Slade would reach out to April privately, and she said that Alex didn't realize Slade was a not safe for work account and kept seeing porn on his timeline. Alex thinks the art animations that Slade makes is great, but she apologizes that there should have been a heads up.
Now that was a lot of info. Can you do a quick recap before we move on?
Sure can do. Alright, so Alex reached out to Slade for a commission. He promised pay and promotion of the work. Slade, who is a porn artist, mentions very early on that he makes porn and that the account he was reached out to was a porn account. While Slade was paid the promised 350 USD, he'd only get a comment to the video from Alex rather than a full quote tweet. Besides the fact a quote tweet would receive a lot more exposure, a reply doesn't hold up the end of Alex's bargain. Working on the animation for a month, Slade feels stiffed in the agreement. Then the February 19th tweet happened, so we're all caught up in the timeline.
Awesome, glad we're back on track. Continue.
February 21st, Slade would make a tweet about how Alex would reach out to apologize to him privately and attempt to, quote, pay him off to squash the beef. He says he doesn't want money or recognition, but to acknowledge and apologize to not safe for a community. Though, in this tweet, we only see what Slade said and not what Alex said in the conversations.
I feel like knowing what Alex said first would also be important, but I'm sure it comes up later.
It comes up later. And in the tweet, he says, here's my statement I made to him, I'll withhold this for now, but like, he already leaked every other message, but not this one, so I don't know. February 22nd, Slade would make a quote tweet of Alex about he and his reps don't care when a small artist says no, as well as said they kept pestering this artist to take less money when she uses her commissions to support her family. Provided in the tweet are screenshots regarding email of someone who claims to be a representative of Broke Records reaching out to the artist. Broke Records is the label that BBNO Money works for. They would ask them to animate stuff for Alex's songs 1-800 and Hot Topic. The artist had asked for $12.50 for 7 animations, and the rep said they could only do $9.50, so the artist would decline.
I don't think this one can be pinned on Alex. This just seems like an employee of the record label he's being a part of being a dick.
The second tweet, also made by Slade, is of another artist being emailed by Right Click Culture regarding promotion. This was in the same September 2025 timeframe. And in this email exchange, Alex would be in the group email, but I'm unsure if he read them or not. I feel like a lot of what they're doing over there is just unprofessional, especially right here where the artist asks for $250, $300, but then the group only has $175 to pay them, but then other artists can be paid $350, like in the case of Slade.
But again, in this case, it seems whoever is working with Alex just sucks, and he's not directly responding to these emails.
Also, remember the main discussion with Slade in the group chat, it was mainly April and him talking, with Alex showing up only once in a while. Also, checking Right Click Culture's website, there is a page for Alex, but there's really nothing there, I guess. They're a well-oiled machine, that company is.
Did Alex ever talk about the Slade stuff?
Actually, yes he did. March 19th, Alex would make a tweet addressing the situation. He doesn't mention Slade by name, but says that, quote,
one individual has been relentlessly harassing me because of an oversight on me not reposting their content.
He proceeds to say that he offered to pay the full rate and formally apologized for being unable to repost the content, and that it was an oversight on his behalf, but that the artist hasn't stopped harassing him. He ends a tweet by saying he's never not paid out animators, and that he's commissioned thousands of artists and will continue to commission more. In the apology, he personally takes responsibility for what had happened, says he's sorry, explains how in the height of hitting a bunch of artists, he didn't realize the type of content Slade typically does. He doesn't hate not safe for artists, he respects what they do, but he cannot retweet the video knowing how many younger fans may see it. While he likes the animation, it was an oversight from him and his team that he takes full responsibility for that. So, since he was unable to hold up the end of the bargain, he just wants to pay the full rate.
It sucks completely that Alex didn't hold up his end of the bargain, but I don't know, this sounds reasonable. Like, Alex doesn't want to publicly call him out at first and wants to work it out behind the scenes, but hey, at least now we get to see what Alex said to Slade in the previously cropped tweet.
Slade would quote tweet the post about how Alex is trying to pay him off and trying to apologize. He says the reason he has not dropped it is that he is not the only artist that Alex lied about reposting art to. He proceeds to say that Alex and his team waited 12 days after saying his not safe work was a problem before offering to pay the original fee. He says it's obvious that he's only doing this because of public backlash and wanting them to stop talking about it publicly. He points out that Alex collaborates with and pays OnlyFans models to be in his content, and that Slade himself is friends with several of them. One anonymous source claims on a phone call that Alex paid her $2,000 for a collab. He ends up by saying Alex knew he did not safe for work and that he has evidence from other safe for work artists and others that wish to remain anonymous that had similar things happen to them. One named artist, however, would be that of Day X. They made a thread February 22nd to talk about how Alex only liked their post without getting a comment or repost as promised. However, the only screenshot provided would be that from Slade in a quote tweet with them talking to Day X about it. Within the screenshot, we see the same copy and pasted message that Slade got that we showed before. They also said on March 8th that they deleted the animation after the post was ghosted by by Alex.
I'm sort of getting the picture that Alex commissioning 100 artists was an ill-conceived idea, or at the very least, doesn't feel like there was any spreadsheet of who was hired, who was already paid, and whose was already liked and commented on.
Yeah, after hearing all this, I think I might understand what has happened to led up to everything.
Ooh, I'm excited for this. Like a devil's advocate kind of thing.
I think this would be more of like an idiot plot side of things, but let me explain. My best guess from Alex's point of view is that he wanted to commission 100 artists to promote his song, because 100 is a big number and looks good when you're talking and bragging about it. Next is that judging by this DM showed by DayX and the one by Slade, Alex copies and pastes the same commission message to everyone. If Alex is on his phone, he probably saw Slade's profile, maybe skimmed it to see that he has 470,000 followers, so good exposure and promotion, that he works with GamerSupps, so possibly brand friendly, and just immediately DM'd him without looking at the art. Assuming he did this on mobile, he wouldn't have outright seen that they are not safe for artists, as they don't have the usual 18 plus or all characters depicted are 18 plus you often see in these accounts.
But with the flick of a thumb, you'd immediately see porn. So easy to miss if you just looked at the profile at a glance. Though he does have the word coom in his name, but if he works with GamerSupps, then that's par for the course for their clientele.
Does this excuse not doing further research into Slade? No, not at all, and it's just a very unfortunate oversight from him and his team. Now, Slade did make it clear about not safe for art in the messages, but I'm guessing in DMing 100 different artists all at the same time, their inbox is so full, and reading every message in full while copying and pasting the same thing about specifics, I can kind of understand how that could have been overlooked. I mean, in this screenshot, we see Slade and Alex talking, then Alex just posts the copy and paste message, no edits or nothing. Like, they already said hi, but then they just paste the message where it already says hello. With the animation done, Alex saw it and probably thought, yeah, that's cool. Now, with Slade posting it, Alex can finally quote tweet to promote it like he's done with other people. But then Alex started to notice a shit ton of porn being retweeted from Slade's account. Then, after it was all too late, Alex finally figured out that Slade is a porn artist and unfollowed him. Though he could have muted them, but yeah. But maybe it was due from being busy with a tour or the break from Twitter for a bit, but I think while commissioning 100 artists to promote a song is great, a lot seems to have happened to have fallen through the cracks when it comes to organization.
This also should have been something April could have looked out for. Or perhaps she didn't care that he was a porn artist.
What do you mean?
Well, if Alex has worked with OnlyFans models, she could have assumed he was cool with it. So maybe instead of double checking, she was just like, nice, another artist Alex likes. Time to find 50 more.
Come to think of it, I'm unsure of what sort of schedule Alex was going for in terms of promotion. As in, rapid fire quote tweeting animations could oversaturate people liking and retweeting and further respecting the art in hand, but also spacing them out too far, artists would feel left out in the promotion. Or perhaps if this was directly for the music video, which that would entail a lot of contracts to adhere to, having all the artists credited on screen with the music video could have been a better route.
Especially with the earlier confusion about if this was for a music video or just a social media post.
I don't want to discourage artists like Alex from commissioning artists, and it seems that a majority of the people who worked with him were fine with the agreement. Though, as I mentioned before, some artists like DayX seemingly weren't fully compensated in the promotion department. However, since we don't know the dialogue between them and April or Alex, I'm unsure if that would be resolved anytime soon. And if Alex doesn't want to commission not safe for artists, I think that's fine too. I did see how Alex worked with OnlyFans models and does suggestive stuff in his TikToks, so while I'm unsure why he specified the younger audiences aspect of his response, I'm unsure what the not safe for work line is for him. Actually, come to think of it, I do remember Slade saying he wants to do animated stuff other than porn, so does he have a safe work account? No? Well, I think he should make one. I think a lot of this could have been avoided if he had a separate account that's not porn related, so if he does any future safe work commissions, he can post it on that account for the supposed artist to retweet and comment on. As for Alex, I think from now on he should make it clear in the commissions to ask if the artist draws or animates porn, and if so, ask if they have a safe work account that can be posted on there instead. Or in the quote tweet of Slade's post saying, "Warning, this account is not safe for work," along doing the rest of promotion to be on the safe side. It's fine having boundaries when it comes to promoting and working on not safe work artists. I mean, on my Blue Sky it's 18 plus because of the suggested material, but not 18 plus on Twitter because I don't post art on there. And I work with and am mutual/friends with a lot of safe work artists and voice actors, but they often have a safe work account to better separate their works.
So what was the end of all this? Alex addressed what happened, tried to apologize, and the guy didn't accept it?
Well, kind of. Slade would tweet about Alex. A lot. Under the February 19th tweet by Slade, Twitter user Pro Jimistro would suggest using the Alex 3D model being used and abused by penises. Slade would respond that he wouldn't because he thinks Alex would be into that, and he's got to be smart about what he may or may not plan to do. Under Slade's tweet about Alex trying to apologize to him, he provides an image of Alex's 3D model in the OceanGate submersible saying,
"I'm glad he reached out at least though. I was about moved crazy. The hentai artist can draw you MPreg. The hentai artist with an OceanGate Titan submersible and extensive fluid and physics simulation experience."
He would He'd reply to someone saying that he is not making revenge porn of Alex, but his tweet sort of implies he's going to animate him getting killed or something. One of Slade's fans would reply to him asking about the Stu Storm porn animation, and he reassures them that he's still working on it. A day earlier, Slade makes a tweet asking for a male VA that can do an impression of a, quote, monotone, repetitive, narcissistic rapper. March 15, Slade revealed the animation he made of Alex with his self-insert OC choking him and dragging him into the darkness. He replied to Alex with the animation. Under a different tweet, Slade would repost the same animation again, and then he would do it again on a different tweet, to which one fan replied to him saying,
"What the fuck happened to you being done with this? Dude, seriously, get the fuck over it already. It was understandable at first, but you dragged this shit so far that it's not even cringy. It's fucking sad. None of us follow you to watch you fucking spiral and have a tantrum. We enjoy your animations. That is why we follow you. Not one-sided beefs. You've let this man live rent-free in your head for over a month. The only thing accurate about this animation is the part of you screeching, because that's literally all you've done."
Slade just tells him to unfollow.
Imagine waiting to see porn from your favorite animator, and on your timeline you just see them animating fan fiction with their self-insert beating up a guy they don't like.
Check in his other tweets, Slade would be seen reposting a clip from drama YouTuber Papa Gut under Alex's posts, and even reply to people using the same clip again and again and again. He would even make other tweets sharing a different video saying, Alex is cooked.
I know I made the joke earlier, but this is very out of left field. What did his audience think of this?
Apparently he lost several thousand followers in the process, thus I don't know where to put this, but I did see one reply to him saying Slade is under probable spam, so it may have gotten to the point where Twitter thinks he might be a robot with all the Alex talk Slade keeps doing. These aren't the only tweets, of course. I'll make a small compilation on screen as I talk about how much he's talked about Alex. When Alex made his tweet talking about harassment, well, at this point, Slade is harassing him. It was completely wrong for Alex not to quote tweet and promote him, as per the agreement, but there is a point where even if you're in the right, the more you tweet, the more one-sided the beef is. Alex's behavior of commissions should be called out, and I'm glad that Slade has been uplifting other artists, but at what point do you just look like the obsessive one? Making animations showing how much you hate Alex, and then responding to him a bunch of times while sharing videos or replying to people with videos about how much he sucks, just also sucks. One reply from a fan of his said it best, quote, "Don't let hatred consume you," and Slade replied with an image saying that hatred isn't a flaw, it's a skill. Another fan would reply to him under the posts of him losing thousands of followers, saying it won't affect him with how many he has. Slade responded that he has had many people yell at him to shut up and just make content, but that it wasn't about him, that he had to upset people that followed him to stand up for other people. In another reply, he says that when other artists came forward, he realized it was a pattern affecting other people and he couldn't let it go.
I think he should have just taken this info and emailed a drama YouTuber or something like the Papa guy from before. It's their job and livelihood to comment on this, and would boost it more than Slade ever could. While I think that it was good to stick up for the smaller artists, that doesn't have to be his job.
Yeah, people follow him for his art, and I can assume a lot of people turn on notifications just for that. So when fans saw that he's just always ranting about Alex for the upteenth time, then it's no surprise thousands of people unfollowed. I do hope that Slade is able to work through his emotions, as working for an artist you listen to the music of only be treated in such a way is devastating. But the more he tweets, rants, and animates about Alex, he'd only be hurting his own cause and helping these other artists. Especially with the bit about other people thinking he might make revenge porn about Alex, but what he did end up making was also just a little weird. Not the same level, of course, but yeah. And believe me, I have a lot of experience putting my foot in my mouth, and a lot of the time it would have been better if I didn't participate in arguing on Twitter. Actually, when it comes to drama channels, they tend to look deeper into both sides of the situation. While doing my own research, I'd watched a video by Pyro Cynical, as well as one by Diesel Patches regarding the situation. In the Pyro one, apparently Slade is directly related to the Tate brothers. To be clear, he disavows them, but whenever the situation is talked about months from now, most things get taken out of context and misremembered, usually to make a joke.
Yeah, if there's any controversy with Slade or Alex, it'll go remember the time Slade harassed BBNO Money and threatened to kill him in an animation because he wouldn't quote tweet his fan animation? Also, he's related to Andrew Tate. That's not really what happened, but it's Twitter. When it comes to drama, a lot of details are left out.
Speaking of drama channels, in an interesting turn of events on March 26th, Alex would copyright strike WestJet's video. He would receive a channel strike, as well as shown in this tweet, it was using Alex's personal email. However, Alex himself would reach out to West, saying that he's dealing with hackers right now, and that he actually likes this video. Slade would be seen retweeting only the first post from West, even replying to him saying, DM'd you. A few hours later, Alex would make a tweet saying that someone hacked into his email, and that they were falsely taking down multiple videos on his behalf. His team already sent emails to YouTube to get this fixed. He says that he has never and will never strike videos talking about him. If your video was taken down, to email the right-click culture Alex email. WestJet would take down a few tweets and leave one up clarifying that the strike was reversed. Honestly, as dumb as it sounds, I kind of believe Alex. With a lot of people hating him right now, the best way to get more hate is to drive more engagement at him. So if hackers want to cause hate to go Alex's way, hacking into his email and taking down videos about him is is honestly a smart move, as this would cause drama channels to cover it and make it seem like that Alex can't take criticism, thus pushing the story further. However, with Alex directly commenting on this and DMing West specifically to sort it out, that probably wasn't something the hackers thought would happen, assuming of course that is the only thing that they did. Also, as a side note, I did mention earlier that Slade should send whatever info to drama channels and just move forward with his own works, but there is one more thing about that. The WestJet YouTuber, the one who made videos about Alex, directly called Slade a loser in one of his videos. This was the person that Slade was trying to get in contact with, by the way. Along with that, Diesel Patches, another person I mentioned earlier, would also called Slade a lunatic with how he's behaving. Here's a clip.
No, that guy who's complaining is low-key such a loser. NSFW community, you can't even make it up. What is that?
BBNO Money was definitely lying to save face and acting like he didn't know this artist made NSFW content, but at the same time, the artist kind of seems like a lunatic.
So in getting involved with drama channels, you might have to work with people who just dislike you. Also, this was after Slade added Diesel Patches on Twitter, someone who hasn't used the platform since 2019, but the animation he made. He explains that the original plan was to have Alex in the submersible, with water leaks to signify the mounting pressure of his controversies. He would say that the fluid simulation would take more time than it's worth, and was too metaphorical to the point where it stopped being funny or entertaining, so he scrapped it. He says that no one's going to see this besides his followers, but there's so many lies being told and context omitted regarding Slade doing this on behalf of other artists. He claims that at no point did he have intentions of making not safe for work or not safe for life content regarding the controversy. I mean, I don't know how to put this, but it still kind of looks like you're going to make an animation of Alex dying, especially with the added part about the water leaks and everyone knowing that the Ocean Gate submersible imploded. Though I'm going to take the more positive routes and just kind of believe he wasn't going to animate him dying, but there'll still be a lot of people who just don't believe him. Either because they don't, or it'll be funnier to rile him up and see if he keep explaining himself forever. But I want to get out of this tangent and out of my head for a little bit, so let's take a look at some audience responses before we get into the final thoughts.
It's one thing to not want to promote an artist you commissioned, happens all the time, and is factored into the commission as that's possible lost advertising. It's another to ghost them with little acknowledgement. A lot of basic elaboration etiquette broke down. 1. Not establishing terms of credit. 2. Not setting up a launch agreement. This lets everyone know how to coordinate socials and when BTS work can be published. 3. Not keeping it 100%. The worst commissions are built on a lack of recognition. If he did not want to say it was a not safe for work artist who made it, he should have had the decency to make that a point and acknowledge that it would not be public, which is common and is something established. I have done work I can never publicly acknowledge as part of my contract. This was embarrassing.
He already apologized to the guy and offered to pay him his usual rate. I don't see the issue.
I don't know. I feel like BBNO Money should have promoted it with a warning saying this account contains not safe for work content. Most of his fanbase, from what I know, is adults anyway.
Probably would have been a good idea to ask if they have a safe for work account. Not everyone posts the commissions they get from specific artists, but with BBNO Money, he constantly posts and spreads animations he commissions from all sorts of artists. So maybe it's unfair, but not completely problematic. If he advertised that he would post their commission they did for him, he should have kept his word. I'm more curious on the reason why, considering his songs aren't what I'd consider kid-friendly and has a lot of adult themes. So an animation/commission made by a not safe for work artist crosses what line exactly for him?
If any of my videos have told you there's nothing worse than arguing with people on Twitter, to let hate consume you, to doomscroll, to constantly comment and reply takes away from creating your own art. And I do want Slade to continue his art, even though I couldn't really join it on screen for obvious reasons. And since he's been posting his animations, he's slowly been getting more followers, comparing this screenshot I showed previously and then this one I took just right now. And perhaps he should make a safe work account so he have more opportunities in the future. What Alex did was awful to Slade, and his team, as well as whoever these contacts were in the prior email I showed, were just unprofessional with organizing the 100 artist thing. In saying that, I'm not sure what else will come of it that hasn't already happened. Alex apologized privately and offered compensation privately. Slade doesn't want the money and wants a proper apology to not safe for community, but also making fun of Alex and spamming tweets about how much he sucks.
I mean, I can kinda get why Alex doesn't want to talk to this guy again, with how one-sided a lot of it seems. Even if it was caused by his team's ineptitude, him trying to solve it privately is a catch-22. If he did it publicly, Alex would have been seen trying to silence Slade with social pressure, but doing it privately means he's trying to silence the situation. You can't win.
All I can recommend Slade to do is support any artists affected and retweet those posts, but anything more at this point could be hurting the situation. Not only that, but his own work as well. Noting before the thousands of fans that left, but continuing on this diatribe is a strain on your mental health and it just isn't good for your brain.
Oh yeah, trying to get
Alex's attention when he seems to have already moved on, and trying to pick apart anything he does will just cause you to spiral into looking for things to hate on.
Believe me, I know the feeling. In the end, I hope that Alex learns how to better commission people, to ask up front to the artist he wants to commission draws porn or not. I'm curious about what the line actually is, if he's cool with working with OnlyFans models.
We'll probably never know that part.
Also, since this happened, Alex has been seen retweeting and commenting on 2 commissions he already paid for, and he got a bunch of likes ragging on the AI TikTok reality show Fruit Love Island.
God forsakes me every day with horrors I cannot unhear.
Oh yeah, one of the commissions I mentioned was posted in November 2025, and he just now retweeted and commented on it, so maybe it just takes a while to respond to things. Who knows? But at the very least, it seems like Alex has already moved on from the situation. As for Slade, I hope he is able to move forward from this and continue his work, both safe work and not safe for work. That's all I have for now, so keep on drawing, and don't forget to have a good day.
With that all over now, I can finally listen to my favorite non-problematic artist that I haven't kept up with in the news, Ye and his new album, Bully.
You haven't seen anything recently about him?
Kanye West, more like Kanye Traversal. Ooh, got him. Got him. I mean, a lot of this exchange between Atrol and Atrol. What the hell? Ooh, what if we had like a little engagement thing at the end? Hey, if you're watching long enough to watch the bloopers, leave a comment that says Among Us Schmungus. No context, no nothing, just put it down.